Tommy Richman is so hot right now. At least that's what I think, as far as I can tell. Listen, I don't pay that much attention to sort of like online discourse about music. You might think I do with this channel, but I'm not really on sort of like music Twitter or music Instagram or whatever. So for someone to get through to my eyes, my ears, my consciousness must mean that they are indeed so hot right now. But Tommy Richman, beyond the fact he has like an oddly generic name. I don't know if he's related to Jonathan Richman. I doubt that he is. But like, not only who is he, but the question here, I'm going to review his big two singles, right? The one that came out last month, $1 Million Baby, and the one that just came out, Devil is a Lie. I'm going to be talking about these songs, but really like, what? What is Tommy Richman? Not who, but like what? I remember the last two times I felt this way was Lil Nas X. I just, like, I heard the name so much. Lil Nas X was so hot right now. And then that was that. And then the next case was Jack Harlow. And I'll be drawing some parallels. I think there's some interesting parallels to be drawn. Lil Nas X as a sort of TikTok or at least online star, and Jack Harlow as far as a probably white performer in a predominantly black art form. Let's just get that out of the way, okay? Is Tommy Richman white? Believe it or not, there's no answer to that on the internet, okay? So let me just say this. He is at least coded white, which is to say his features appear to be white, okay? And I think that's important for his general acceptance. That doesn't mean that that's the source of all of his success. That doesn't mean that the world is a racist, evil place. But what's interesting is that all of the biographical information that you can find when trying to answer the question, what is Tommy Richman? It's scant biographical information. There's very little out there. And listen, with any artist, especially an artist who has a fair amount of support, any marker of authenticity will be turned up to the maximum. That will be shown. That'll be on complete display, especially for artists who are coded as white, who appear to be white. Any claim to hardship, to non-whiteness, to some sort of authenticity, which is legitimately barred from most of the white American experience when performing black American arts, anything that can be tied in and can be made more authentic is turned up to the max. And any markers of privilege, especially white privilege, are generally hidden. Okay, that's just the universe that we live in. You can think of examples and you will see. Okay, so what do we know about this person? Not much. First of all, is anyone going to mention that he is literally a rich man from the north of Richmond? I know we have a short memory. But Rich Men North of Richmond was that country song from earlier in the year. I didn't talk about it because it just felt like it would have been clickbaity. All I really had to say about it, I saw someone else said as well, which is to say that it's just the new version of Okie from Muskogee by Merle Haggard. By that, I mean it was a song that was somewhat parodying far-right beliefs, but then the far-right took it and adopted it. Although I would say the singer of Richmond North of Richmond might have more integrity than Merle Haggard ended up having. And I'm saying that as a big Merle Haggard fan. Saw him in concert and everything. Okay, so beyond the fact that he's like literally from Virginia, from Woodbridge, the city of Woodbridge, has 46,000 people in there. I don't know if that qualifies as a city. I've heard people call it a city. I've never been there. I spent a lot of time in and around D.C. Never been to Woodbridge. Okay, so we know that about him. And we know that he dropped out of college. Super sketchy, okay? Dropped out of college. That sounds like a marker of authenticity, right? Like he just had to get his art out there so bad. What college? Which college? Was it American University in D.C.? Was it Prince George Community College? Was it Berkeley School of Music? Was it Princeton? Was it Lord Fauntleroy's Crumpet and Tea School of Light Knox? I mean, we don't know anything. That's just it. And his dad was a drummer and his mother was legally deaf. And we hear that over and over again. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, like in terms of his life and his upbringing and what does it bring to this music and this attempt that he has and the successful attempt he has to merge all these genres together. The one thing that you will find out if you look up about and you ask the question, and I did. I asked my Instagram followers, Instagram Professor _Sky, I think is my name. what is Tommy Richman? And most commonly, I saw the words industry plant. Thank you for auditing the Always Positive New Music Review Show, hosted by a French professor who legitimately likes both of these songs. I could lie. I could say, oh, it's kind of boring. Oh, I don't know, I've heard it before. No, these are great songs. They really are. Okay, so irregardless, it's a word, look it up. Irregardless of what you think of the meaning of Tommy Richman, we cannot deny that he has released at least these two songs as being very good. But I'd like to go a little bit further into the term industry plant. It's a useless term. It means nothing. It's nothing. It's worse than useless. It denies artists who found some way of having success for no good reason. Do you know, like, the music industry is a big industry, right? There's a lot of people whose job it is to find new artists and have them succeed. What are they supposed to do? Like, not try to plant their musicians? Like, what does it mean? Anyone on a major label, from the smallest minnow to the biggest fish, is absolutely an industry plant. That's what it is. They're trying to plant and let it grow. That's the whole point of planting. That's the whole point of cultivating, of creating this whole industry. It's impossible. And beyond that, there's so many mustard seeds that have been, I'm getting biblical today, mustard seeds that have just been thrown out on fallow fields and just gone nowhere. I see them all the time in this channel. Sometimes I review them. Sometimes I review artists on major labels who release good projects and they just go nowhere. It's not because they're not good. It's not because they're bad. It's just because who the hell knows, right? The fate is fickle, so is taste. So the question isn't who is or what is an industry plant. Because even if we take as an example Billie Eilish is a plant, she wasn't the only person that her record label was trying to plant. Why did she bloom? What is it? And there's two things you can find out. Whenever you say someone's an industry plant, fine. Soit-il? Bon, ça va. On va continuer. All right? Let's just say cool. What made them bloom? One of two things. One, just talent. And then the other thing is some way that they engage with the audience. With Tommy Richman, his style is so kind of half-assed. Like, he's working hard. He's clearly good at his craft. He's clearly a good singer. But these songs are not overproduced. They're not like perfect little nuggets of pop, rap, R&B synthesis. I think it's the way that he gets something out of his audience. Now, this is where the Jack Harlow comp comes in. Maybe this is a good comp because his whiteness might be part of why this plant is blooming. Again, I'll give you another number. There's two reasons why. One, the world is terrible and white supremacist. True. The other one is just, hey, there's a lot of white kids out there who like music, and maybe it's easier for them to connect to music where the person who makes the music resembles themselves. Okay, a weird case of representation. I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying that's the more neutral way of looking at it, and I think that's a similar thing with Jack Harlow. He's not as good as most other rappers. No, he's better than most other rappers, but he's not better than most good rappers, most rappers at the high level. But still, I understand. Maybe if you're a suburban kid from Kentucky or Nashville or something, you see this guy and you sort of say, well, he has sort of my life experience, so I can relate to that. Okay? That's okay. As long as it doesn't take over, it's okay. So I don't know, maybe Post Malone is another good comparison. Just with the multi-genre-ness. If you look up about Tommy Richman, he's into punk, he's into funk, he's into R&B, he's into hip-hop, he's into soul. It's a cipher. It's nothing. It's an empty bottle. Okay? DKR. It is just an empty bottle. What is the content? What is the content of Tommy Richman? Maybe nothing. When you embrace all cultures, you sort of embrace no cultures. And I can say that. I can say that because I'm white. It happens a lot, okay? This morning I was having an existential crisis realizing I think my culture is Yellow Submarine. Like, if I had to describe, like, my deepest culture, like, my deepest soul, it's Yellow Submarine, okay? So, I don't know. Maybe that's why it worked. When I asked Instagram, when I said, what is it? Okay, Bloom says an artist. Dylan says New Age Justin Timberlake. Not the only person. to compare to Justin Timberlake. I'll talk more about that in a second. Scooterfly said, did what Freddie Dredd did to the Memphis sound. I don't understand that reference. That sounds super smart. I should look into it. Obama says, cool guy, probably, but his music annoys me. Let's go back to that Jack Harlow thing. There is a... Okay, I'm going to go out over my skis here. But I think for kind of like generically handsome white dudes in the hip-hop space, as long as they don't have face tattoos, they get this crazy benefit of the doubt that they're probably cool dudes. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm saying it's bad. It's bad. Assuming someone's good is bad, just assuming they're bad. Anyways, Viva says, algorithm. 8 Train says, I don't know yet, but I read an article referring to his song as the breakout rap song of the year, and I hadn't realized it was a rap song. That's the next question. Is $1 Million Baby a rap song? Not really. Big Texas says, strangely unpopular according to this comment section, and that's true. Poe says, another TikTok star. So that's the other question. How do we have TikTok stars? Is there such a thing as a TikTok star? Do we need to keep putting that in parentheses or not? I don't know. I don't think we do. I think TikTok stars are real stars. They're just more fleeting. That's all. Just that their time to shine is much quicker. Carter is repping. Carter says he's an effing awesome artist who deserves every ounce of fame that he gets because he's been doing it for a long time, and his 2021 album, Alligator, I think is what it's called, is great. All right, so good. A little bit of full-on defense. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking about all these different comparisons, and especially this Justin Timberlake one. And I don't quite feel it. I don't quite get the Justin Timberlake thing because Justin Timberlake was so polished, because there was never any question of authenticity, because he was coming straight from NSYNC, that we always knew he was just a pop star, just like the sort of Justin Timberlake exception, where we just sort of said, all right, I guess he's working with Timbaland now. All right, cool. I guess he's good. I don't want to compare them to that. I think the person he reminds me most of is the Bee Gees. Okay, hear me out. The Bee Gees, if you don't know, Australian rock pop band. Did a lot of great music. I told the joke that started the whole world crying. A lot of great music. Massachusetts, great music. And then they kind of went in and did disco. And all of a sudden they became the face of disco. There was a largely black, usually gay subculture of music called disco, and if you say disco, the first thing you think of is someone in a white suit singing up high. Ironically, you might think of Justin Timberlake singing as one of the Gibb brothers with, what's his face, Jimmy Fallon. Staying alive, staying alive. I think I keep wanting to call him Tommy Davidson from Living Colour. Tommy Richman might end up being like the Bee Gees of this current moment of R&B and hip-hop crossover. Now, the crossover between hip-hop and R&B has been going on for a long time. Let's keep it in Virginia. Let's say it started with Missy Elliott, though it definitely started before. That's where it started for me. You can tell me in the comments if you have some kind of great long thesis you want to say about the history of the mixing up. I don't know. Houdini did it pretty well. LL Cool J did it pretty well. A lot of people did it well. But it's happened over years and over years and over years. But it seems to me that we now live in a largely post-genre era. So seeing as we live in a post-genre era, it's more important or less important. It's maybe more prevalent that these kinds of mixes happen and that they happen without even really noticing. So the question is it a problem that Tommy Richman, a ostensibly white dude from suburban Virginia, it could be the white face of what? Rappin' B, RN Brap? I don't know what to call it. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem because one thing that's happened over the past 30 years is white artists who make black music end up just being judged on the content of their art. I don't know. It just happened, Mac Miller was great until the second he died, and he received respect from everywhere because he was great. Eminem is respected as long as he is great. It's wild. Vanilla Ice was whack, and we all just said, yeah, he's whack. Go do new metal, you prick. Right? That's what happened. Post Malone. Anyways, we'll move on from Post Malone. I don't want to get too angry right now. So I don't think it's actually a problem. I think he'll just end up being another face in this place. And hey, this week the Don Toliver album came out. And that album is better than everything I've heard by Tommy Richman. I'm not saying Tommy Richman's bad, but that Don Toliver album is super good. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I think there's a lot of space in this genre, in this mix-up. And maybe having this high singing, missing Gibb brother might be good. So let's get to one of the songs. Let's get to $1 Million Baby. First of all, strike one, it might send people to go watch that trash Clint Eastwood movie, $1 Million Baby, that won Oscars because the Oscars suck, okay? Ableist crap. Spoiler, she dies at the end. Don't watch that movie. I don't care if you were going to watch it. It sucks, okay? Man with No Name. How about Man with No Taste? It's a movie about a boxer, and she gets trained, and then she gets paralyzed, and she begs to be murdered. She begs to be euthanized. Now, I'm not against euthanasia in many cases. That's not the point. I'm not talking about the sanctity of life. I'm talking about, hey, maybe don't make a movie where the thesis is if you're not fully able-bodied, you shouldn't live. You should just choose to die. That hurts people. There are many paraplegics out there, quadriplegics out there, people differently abled out there who saw that movie and were like, oh, so I should want to kill myself now. Let's give that the Oscar. Anyways. It sucks anyways. It's color by numbers. It's color by numbers movie. God damn, that movie sucks. I'm sorry, I'm a positive guy, but and I like a lot of things that Clint Eastwood did. Before the 90s. Even Unforgiven's kind of a piece of crap. I loved it when I was a kid. It's just a boring-ass revenge tale. Whoa, are you going to kill everybody? Narc. Anyways, let's get to the song. That was my that was my advertisement for the video. I'm sponsored by Don't Watch That Trash Movie. So already, just like, you know, ooh, my spider sense is tingling. It starts off with like Houston screwed up sounds with these people like rapping slowed down. So I'm like, okay, all right. Accusations of appropriation are pretty valid. Even if this is somebody who's, you know, even if this is from a, you know, a foundational black American, like even if you make this sound from Virginia, it's kind of like, you know, it's not really a Virginia sound. But whatever. We'll move past that. Do you know why we'll move past it? Because it sounds good. It sounds really good. There's a little 808 beep in here. It sounds good. It has kind of a ratty sound to it. It sounds good. Do you know how many producers there are in this song? This cool kind of ratty, sounds like thrown together song? I believe I quote LeBron James when I say not one, not two, not three, six. 6 producers on the song. Max Vosberg, Jonah Roy, Manny Velli, Sparkheem, and Kavi. If you're going to get accused of being an industry plant, that might be a reason why. The problem is, though, what are they trying to do? You get 6 people who are just trying to sound like 2. They're just trying to sound like the Neptunes. I didn't say Pharrell. I said the Neptunes. Put some respect on Hugo's name, okay? Anyways, they're just trying to sound like that. And okay, hey, Virginia, very cool. What's up with Virginia having futuristic producers who are amazing? What's up with that? What's up with Timbaland? What's up with the Neptunes? It's weird, right? It's weird and it's great. But I realized the thing that his whole style reminds me of is not actually just Timberlake. It's actually the song "I Just Wanna Love You." Parentheses, give it to me. Do you know this song? This is the hit or miss Rock La Familia album, The Dynasty. And this is one of my favorite songs off the album. It's produced by the Neptunes, and it has Pharrell singing in his Pharrell way. I'm a hustler, baby. I want you to know. All right? That's how it is. This guy clips out of context. I think someone started maybe a Reddit page or Twitter page. I don't know what. Whoever it is that's doing that, you keep up the good work. I'm a hustler, baby. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it because it's a hard thing to do. And the thing that he does is, unlike Justin Timberlake, there's a roughness and a rawness to the way that Pharrell sings. Always. Even on Happy, there's like a little bit of a roughness there. There's a little bit of lack of perfection. And Tommy Richman is able to do that. Is this even a song? I can't quite tell. I mean, it's made for TikTok. It did well on TikTok. Good. Who cares? All right? Who cares? There used to be songs made for jukeboxes. What are we going to do? The song was clearly made for a jukebox. It could have been 11 minutes long, but they decided to make it shorter so it could play on a jukebox. Yeah, who cares, old man? So fine. That means there's not really structure to the song. It's just kind of there and gone. And then we get to the lyrics. Rep my city for so damn long, but you still don't notice me. He lives in Los Angeles. It's okay. It's okay to move to Los Angeles. Everyone does it. Everyone. Like all the famous people from other places move to Los Angeles. It's a little funny. And it's like repping for Woodbridge. All right, I don't know anything about Woodbridge, so I guess it is officially repped. But you know what he doesn't rep? He doesn't rep a set. I ain't never rep a set, baby. Oh, this is where the mystery comes into play, all right? What college did this guy drop out of? What is this guy's life? I'm not saying that I know his life experience and that this is not a problematic lyric. But I'm just saying, that's a brave lyric to say, I ain't never rep a set? Like, as in I've never represented a gang? I mean, I've never represented a gang either, but I would never say it. And if I did, I would say it like that. I have never been involved in gang activity. I would definitely not say, I ain't never rep a set. Ain't do no wrong, I can clean up good for you because I know a right from wrong. What? Because I want to make it so badly. All right? That's the whole point. I want to make it so badly. I'm $1 million baby, don't at me. Okay, I take away that strike because you know what this is doing? This is taking over so that we're going to forget that piece of crap movie. And $1 Million Baby is now going to be about wanting to make it, about wanting to be a successful person, not to be like Hillary. Oh, by the way, Hillary Swank, hot or not? Hot. That's the answer to that question. It's often asked. That's the answer. Definitively hot. But not in that movie because she killed herself. I want to make it so badly. I'm $1 Million Baby. It's about ambition. Why is this song hitting? Why does it hit? Because it's right here. You know, it's the time that we're in. You know, everyone who's on Instagram, 100% of everyone who's on Instagram is also a member of some kind of hustler university who's trying to figure out how to make money from drop shipping and triangle and pyramid schemes. Okay? That's just a fact. Everybody, including you. You didn't even know, but you're in a pyramid scheme. Keeps on saying, hell nah. Again, like, the mystery behind Tommy Richman, it could really bite him on the ass. It really could. Because then we get to the song Devil is a Lie. Another great song. Just for fun, I looked up the origin of Devil is a Lie. It came to my consciousness from the trailer of the only good Ghostbusters movie since the first one, Ghostbusters 2016, where Leslie Jones, the underrated actress, says the devil is a lie when she sees a ghost. And she says it in a very funny, loud way. Okay, there's a little too much dumpling talk, but it's a strong movie, and it's better than that other horse hockey they've been putting out. What was the last one? Ghostbusters Frozen Ape? Bad movie. I haven't seen it. You know, maybe it's good. Maybe seeing a bunch of old boomers dressed up like they did in the 80s is good, actually. But the term roughly comes from John 8:44, New King James Version. You are of your father, the devil, and the desires of your father you want to do. He was a murderer from the beginning. He does not stand in the truth because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own resources, for he is a liar and the father of it all. Strong words from Jesus. What I like about the song, like musically, so this is produced by like only 3 people. 3 of the people who also produced the other song. It has this kind of like Neptune's imitation, but first it's these cool little strings. But then it's just such a Neptune song, like they just owe money. They owe money. They owe money to Pharrell and Hugo. And doesn't it sound kind of bad? Doesn't it sound kind of like what? Like this is like you had like a huge #1 hit on TikTok. You are like so hot right now. And the first song you release afterwards is this kind of rough around the edges, sort of poorly mixed Fantano style of album. That's like, I mean, a song it's cool. I give it props. I give it props for sounding kind of bad. That adds to the atmosphere. You come from a sunken place? Since 2019, you doing this with me. I'm a set it in stone. Come from a sunken place. You know the struggle. Sunken place? Is this like some kind of logic thing where like actually he's not white and he just looks it? Because like sunken place is a very important term created by Jordan Peele in the movie Get Out, all about sort of like metaphorically being in a kind of place that's sort of giving in to complete and total white supremacy and being just like separated from your conscious self. I can't go to a sunken place personally myself. I can't. Because that's a cultural experience which I can observe but cannot participate in. So I don't know. From the bottom to the top, maybe. I don't know. Everything is a mystery. And then there's the video where he's in front of a lowrider. This is that cipher thing I'm talking about. Okay, this is that zero. This is that empty bottle. Okay, like. A lowrider? So you moved out to LA and you're trying to rep your city and now you've got a lowrider? Like what is it? And it reminded me of something. Of who he might actually be. A different man. Not Rich Man. Pink Man. Jesse Pinkman from the TV show Breaking Bad. I don't know if you've watched it recently. The first season is terrible. It's a bad, uncomfortable, disgusting show. I've just been rewatching it. Walter White is the biggest piece of shit on TV. I hope he dies. I cannot stand him. He's just the worst. I hate him. I only wish bad things for Walter White. There's no redeeming characteristics to him at all. Zero. Skylar? She's rad. She's great. She's actually doing what she has to do. She's the hero of the whole damn show. Doesn't matter. Point is, Pinkman, in the first season, has a lowrider. And I don't know. I sort of feel like there's a real Jesse Pinkman-esque nature. And maybe it's kind of that thing I was talking about, like the seeming like a nice guy. Like there's like a kind of like mildly handsome, sort of generic looking, affable dude, bro, who's a little bit sketchy, a little bit of a bad boy, but not like the worst of the bad boys. Like that just kind of Pinkman Richman space. He might be in that place. All right, so there you go. I've talked about an artist who I've just started to research for 27 minutes. I think this video is great. You can tell me if you think it's great. Smash the like button, subscribe. I'll do AVAA. That means awesome video as always, and I will always heart that comment. And yeah, this is fun. I'm going to talk about some other stuff now. Some more underground stuff. Getting away from the TikTok. There's the camera. Wait, anything else to say? No, there's the camera.